Ladies and gentlemen, the shit's about to hit the fan.
What does everybody want?
I mean, you still haven't fixed anything. I mean, what's your point of being a producer if you're just gonna... He's... You didn't tell me he's here again. What the hell? Okay, ladies, gentlemen, welcome to a brand new Heel Turn podcast. Today we have a very special guest, four-time RAPW Tag Team Champion, three-time RAPW 24/7 Champion, previous RAPW Junior Heavyweight Champion, previous RCW Lightweight Champion, previous RCW Tag Team Champion, previous WASP Tag Team Champion, three-time EWE No Limits Champion, previous FCWF American Heritage Champion, and current Fight Night Cruiserweight Champion. That's a mouthful right there, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Bushido Badass, the Rubber City Ronin, the Super Kick Sensei, the definition of defiance. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, Spike Ronin. Spike, how you doing today, my friend?
I'm good, Drew. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for asking. So, first question. As I just mentioned, and I was going out of breath there, you've had a lot of championships for a number of promotions. Which is your favorite and why?
My favorite is probably the RAPW Junior Heavyweight Championship.
Why that one over the rest?
Well, you notice the rest are like there's a 24/7 title and the EWE No Limits title. Those were versions of a hardcore title, and those are the titles that I had held before that. That was my first major singles championship, and not only that, I beat 5-star Thomas Adams for that title. He had come back from a shoulder injury that had sidelined him for almost 2 years, and he went on a hot streak. Some would argue that Keith Young helped him out with that, but I digress. And I was the one that ended all of that for him that night, and it was just a really cool feeling.
More than once you've held tag team gold. Who is your favorite tag team to hold gold with?
Oh, that's probably going to be... As much as they tormented me at the time, that's got to be the LA Guns. We held the RAPW tag titles 3 times together. It was me and Kip Page and Flea.
And why them over the other tag team titles that you've held?
It was fun, man. Like, it was really just us being ourselves. Like, half the time we weren't even wearing, like, actual wrestling gear. Like, we wore torn jeans and T-shirts. You know, spent a lot of time hanging out, drinking, listening to rock music, and just doing what we like to do and wrestling at the same time. It was cool.
So, Spike, you're a bit of a smaller wrestler, fighting in more of the light and cruiserweight classes. Do you find it easier to go against an opponent more your size, or a big clumsy buffoon like me?
Well, I wouldn't call you necessarily a buffoon.
I would.
that implies a lack of intelligence, and I make no assumptions. Honestly, I like the challenge of wrestling a bigger guy, but as far as like it's easier for me to wrestle somebody closer to my size because I can suplex a Ray Stewart. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna suplex Blackhawk
or Miles Jacob.
It's not gonna happen.
So, can you give us the long and short of your involvement in Control Your Narrative?
Control Your Narrative. It started out as a street team deal. I got a message from a buddy of mine. Said, "Hey, I'm involved with Control Your Narrative," and I was like, "Oh man, that's cool." And he's like, "Yeah, we're coming to Cleveland." I'm like, "Dude, that's even better." I'm like, "I'll be there. I'll buy tickets." And he's like, "Well, can you street team for us?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I'm not gonna pass it. I'm not gonna, help my buddy out, promote something that I believe in. They put on a good show, and it started out as just a street team deal, and I got into the seminar for helping out. You know what I mean? Because I was technically working. And then they ended up needing an extra hand, and I just so happened to fit the bill, so I got to be a part of the show that night, which was really, really cool.
Now, can you give us
really about the extent of it?
Now, can you give us any inside information of the current status of Control Your Narrative or the future plans of Control Your Narrative, especially here in Cleveland?
I've talked to several people about it. I've talked to my friend who's very close to the project, and from what I understand, if you pay attention to what EC3 posts online, he's calling it the Great Rebrand. That's what he's talking about. They're rebranding, they're reformatting, and doing what they can to move forward in light of recent situations that arose within that brand itself.
Spike, what do you have on the agenda? What's the next 2-3 months look like for you?
Let's see. I believe December 3rd, I'll be in Zanesville, Ohio for Southern Championship Wrestling. As ironic as that is, you know, the promotion in Ohio calling themselves Southern Championship Wrestling, but it's cool. I think it's RAPW in January and SCW in January, and then hopefully after that, RAPW and SCW will be monthly moving forward, and hopefully Fight Night Wrestling will actually be up and running again by February or March.
That's good to hear. I like to hear that right there.
Yeah. And I'll be back to defending the Cruiserweight title like I like to do.
And did I hear the rumor correct that Fight Night moved up to Erie, or are you guys still down in the Akron, Canton area?
As it stands right now, I go and Fight Night goes anywhere that will allow us to participate. We're trying to keep the brand relevant. Marcus Knight appeared at Dropkick Diabetes with the Fight Night Heavyweight Championship. I appear at RAPW on a regular basis with the Fight Night Cruiserweight Championship. I've defended the title on that show as well. The Fight Night Wrestling Heavyweight title has been defended on RCW Global. That's a big thing there. Or at least we tried to make it a big thing, you know. So we're doing what we can to stay relevant while we're trying to recoup and get essentially reformat and get things running again, almost similar to what Control Your Narrative is going through right now. Trying to find we have our ears they have their ears to the ground. They're looking for a place to run their shows on either semi-monthly or monthly basis, and we'll see what happens.
All right, Spike, now it's time to go into my favorite segment of the show, the 7+1. I'm going to hit you with 7 rapid-fire questions and one that just needs a little bit more explanation, all right?
Mm-hmm.
First one, WWE Lightweight or WCW Cruiserweight Champion?
WCW Cruiserweight Champion.
Who's your favorite Power Ranger?
Tommy Oliver.
There you go. If you could win any championship belt from any promotion but can never win a belt again, which belt would it be?
The WWE/NXT Cruiserweight Championship.
If you can wrestle anyone, live or dead, doesn't even have to be a wrestler, who would it be?
Anyone live or dead, doesn't have to be a wrestler. CM Punk.
Heel or face?
Face.
Would you rather be a wrestler, a booker, a promoter, or a ref?
Wrestler.
What's the best wrestling nickname you've ever heard of?
The best wrestling nickname I've ever heard of. Is it a shameless plug if I say Dollar Tree Ric Flair?
No, it's absolutely a perfectly good thing to say.
Because that's hilarious.
And the +1 now, the one that needs just a wee bit more explanation. If you could have the career of any wrestler, who would it be and why?
Wait, say that again?
If you could have the career of any wrestler, who would it be and why?
Shawn Michaels.
Why?
Shawn Michaels is one of the greatest performers to ever set foot, if not the greatest performer to ever set foot in a professional wrestling ring. And he, along with a few others, defined an entire era of professional wrestling. They made it bigger than it had ever been before. And you can't compete with that. Like, a lot of people will go for, like, Ric Flair held 16 world titles. Shawn Michaels didn't need 16 world titles. He was still Mr. WrestleMania.
I have very similar feelings to The Undertaker when it comes to that. I have exact same things where he's changed.
Same
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
He changed what wrestling is for the better.
Right. He was one of those guys. He was in that group with Shawn Michaels.
Absolutely.
Same thing.
I still think he should have retired a little earlier. Some of those later matches I could have done without, but that's just me.
You know what, Shawn? Like, honestly, that last match with Shawn Michaels was brutal too.
Well, I was talking about the Undertaker on that one, but yes, that very last one with Triple H and the Undertaker and Kane. Yeah, that and I had such hopes for that too.
But now, in the twilight of his career, retired, Shawn Michaels is responsible for grooming the next generation of WWE superstars. So he's going to define an entire era of WWE again.
I have gained a lot of respect for both him and Triple H for what they've done more recently than what they've done in the ring.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that's like I said. I mean, I'll never say a bad thing about either one, Triple H or Shawn, but they definitely weren't my favorites. Again, not that they weren't phenomenal wrestlers, just I was more of an Undertaker guy. But man, what they have done since they've retired, what they have done taking over NXT and the WWE as a whole is just absolutely amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely right. I agree.
Well, Spike, it was a pleasure. Looks like it's time to wrap up. My worthless producer over here is giving me that hand signal, but I won't tell you which one it is. It involves one finger and a few other things. But it was a pleasure to have you on the Heel Turn podcast. Spike, it was a pleasure. Have a good day, man.
Yep, you too. Thank you.
Thank you, man.